There are few animals on our planet that evoke such a powerful and immediate reaction: the snake. For millennia, it has slithered through our nightmares and our folklore, a symbol of danger, temptation, ancient and unknowable power. We see it carved into the stone of forgotten temples, a guardian of sacred places. We hear its story whispered in cautionary tales around a campfire, a warning of the hidden perils just beyond the light. This creature, with its unblinking stare and its silent fluid movement, has become a vessel for our deepest fears and our most profound curiosities. A living paradox: evil, wisdom. This deep-seated relationship is etched into our culture. The serpent in the Garden of Eden, Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, the uraeus on a pharaoh's brow, the Ouroboros devouring its tail. Symbolism that has shaped our perception more than biology. But what if myth has blinded us? What if our stories have obscured a more complex truth? We've built a fortress of assumptions, an identity based on fear and fable. We think of them as simple, solitary, primitive hunters, driven by cold reptilian instinct. That perception has guided scientific inquiry, limiting the questions we've asked. Comfortable, but incomplete. Today we stand at the precipice of a revolution. Astonishing discoveries are pulling back the curtain, revealing a far more intricate world. Not myth, but hard-won science. Fossils unearthed from deep layers. Genetic codes decoded. Secret lives observed in the wild. Now is the time to set aside ancient fears and inherited stories, to look with fresh eyes. For this creature has secrets that will change everything. For centuries, our study of snakes, the field of herpetology, has progressed steadily, adding piece by piece to our catalog of the natural world. We have named and classified thousands of species: the colossal reticulated python, the tiny thread snake, no thicker than a noodle. We have mapped their distributions across continents, the highest mountains, the most arid deserts. We believed, with a certain degree of scientific confidence, that we had a firm grasp on the fundamental nature of what it means to be a snake. We thought the book was largely written. Prepare to have your perception of reality fundamentally altered. In the next 30 minutes, we will embark on a journey that will challenge everything you think you know. Discoveries so profound, they are forcing scientists to tear up old textbooks and start anew. Let us be clear about what this journey is not. We will not be chasing mythical cryptids. These discoveries are grounded in rigorous, evidence-based science. Brand new fossil evidence that redraws the snake's family tree. Advanced imaging revealing anatomical structures previously invisible. Genetic sequencing uncovering abilities we thought impossible. Imagine unlocking secrets sealed for millions of years, whispering of a completely different evolutionary history. Picture scientists using medical and physics technologies to peer inside a living snake, watching organs function in real time and unprecedented detail. Consider documented evidence showing snakes communicating with one another, forming social bonds, and even exhibiting cooperative behaviors. The immediate stakes of these revelations are immense. This is not simply about adding a new chapter to a biology textbook. This is about fundamentally rewriting entire sections. If ancient snakes were not what we thought they were, what does that tell us about the ecosystems they inhabited millions of years ago? If modern snakes possess a hidden world of social behavior, what does that mean for our conservation strategies? Understanding the true evolution of venom could fast-track the development of new, more effective antivenoms, could lead to the design of more advanced bio-inspired robots. So, forget everything you thought you knew. Cast aside the ancient myths and the outdated science. Prepare to meet the snake for the very first time. The journey into the hidden world of snakes begins now. For over a century, the accepted story of snake evolution was one born of land. The prevailing theory suggested that snakes evolved from a burrowing lizard. But recent paleontological breakthroughs, unearthed from rock formations that were once the beds of ancient oceans, are telling a completely different story. Fossils are emerging that place the very first serpents not on land, but in water. These are fossils of the very earliest forms, creatures that were living and hunting in warm, shallow seas. This single revelation turns the old theory on its head. It suggests the serpent's cradle was not the forest floor, but the primordial ocean. However, new fossil discoveries, preserved with astonishing and unprecedented detail, are forcing us to completely rewrite this ancient menu. One of the most shocking of these discoveries revealed an early marine snake with the remains of a surprisingly large fish still inside it. Further analysis suggests some of these marine snakes may have fed exclusively on certain types of shelled creatures like ammonites. They were diverse and significant predators in their own right, occupying specific niches within complex marine ecosystems. Then, in a discovery that sent shockwaves through the world of paleontology, this hypothetical creature became a reality. This fossil, named Tetrapodophis amplectus, was a revelation. It was the creature that paleontologists had dreamed of finding. Scientists now believe these tiny limbs were likely used to hold on to partners during mating, or perhaps to grip struggling prey. It represents a crucial moment in time, a perfect snapshot of evolution in action from the watery cradle of snake origins. When we think of giant prehistoric snakes, one name immediately comes to mind: Titanoboa. But new discoveries reveal that Titanoboa was not an anomaly. It was part of a much grander and much older tradition of giant snakes that first arose in the oceans. Based on the size of its fossilized backbones, scientists estimate that this sea serpent could have reached lengths of 9 to 10 meters. It was a true giant, an apex predator in its marine environment. Long before great white sharks or killer whales evolved, the mass extinction event opened up a world of opportunity on land. They moved inland, diversifying with explosive speed. This connection is now being confirmed by genetics, a molecular link that connects a snake in the soil today with an ancestor that once swam in a prehistoric ocean. While paleontologists have been rewriting the deep past, another group of scientists has been exploring an equally vast and unknown territory: the internal world of the living snake. A revolution in advanced imaging technology is allowing us to do just that. By using incredibly powerful, focused beams of light, scientists can now visualize soft tissues without any need for dissection. These unprecedented views are revealing anatomical structures that have remained hidden until now. In the heads of certain burrowing snakes, helmet-like reinforcements that protect their brains, we can see how a viper's skull is not just a collection of bones, but a highly integrated kinetic weapon. Now, the science of genomics is allowing us to read a far more ancient and accurate history book, the DNA of the snakes themselves. We have discovered that snakes we thought were close cousins are in fact only distant relatives that independently evolved similar appearances. One of the most stunning discoveries has been the link between the giant constricting boas of the Americas and the small sand-swimming boas of Africa, separated tens of millions of years ago when the continents of South America and Africa drifted apart. Venom is perhaps the snake's most infamous and fascinating adaptation. They evolved from ordinary, harmless genes. A gene that once produced a protein for digesting food was duplicated and then repurposed into a flesh-destroying toxin. A snake population that preys on lizards will have venom optimized to be highly effective against reptiles. Another population will have evolved a completely different venom profile, tailored to be lethal to mammals. By studying this vast library of natural compounds, scientists are discovering new leads for drugs to treat everything from heart disease, stroke, to chronic pain. For years, we've marveled at a python swallowing a deer whole. Within 48 hours of a big meal, its heart can grow up to 40%. Their metabolic rates soar, over 40 times higher after a meal. They essentially turn on the digestive system only when it's needed. Some snakes draw calcium from their own skeletons to make eggs. They literally mine their bones for their offspring. The snake is becoming a premier model for studying healthy aging and cellular resilience, a master of internal survival that could change the future of medicine. For as long as we have studied them, we have held one truth to be self-evident: snakes are solitary creatures. But deep within their hidden dens, a different story has been unfolding, one that shatters this ancient stereotype. They are not just tolerating each other's presence, they are actively choosing to associate with specific individuals. They form friendships, they perform chin rubbing, body aligning, gentle nudging, a silent physical dialogue that keeps communities stable. We are even witnessing hints of cooperative behavior. Certain species of water snakes have been observed hunting in coordinated groups. In labs, snakes show real capacity for learning and memory. Some species have been trained to navigate complex mazes and remember the correct path weeks later. The tentacled snake uses its body to stir the water, startling fish toward its mouth. That's calculated manipulation, not reflex. Faced with novel problems, snakes don't give up. They experiment until they solve it. This shows flexible thinking, behavioral innovation. Of all the behavioral revelations, perhaps none is more surprising or more touching than the discovery of parental care in snakes. She uses a process of muscular shivering to generate heat, keeping her eggs at the perfect temperature. In a truly groundbreaking discovery, scientists have observed some rattlesnake mothers staying with their young for weeks after they are born. Recent observations suggest that some pit viper mothers may lead their young to their own preferred hunting grounds, actively teaching them about their environment. These discoveries carry a profound ethical weight and demand a fundamental rethinking of our approach to their conservation. The secrets unlocked from serpent biology are providing a blueprint for innovation across medicine, engineering, and technology. They're on the cusp of developing synthetic, universal antivenoms that would be monumental for rural tropical communities. Snake bots can slither into spaces humans or wheeled robots cannot, for search and rescue in collapsed buildings. The future of discovery does not belong exclusively to scientists. It also belongs to you. Platforms like eNaturalist let anyone upload a photo of a snake they encounter. It gives scientists data on location, habitat, time of day. When thousands contribute, you get a massive real-time map of snake distribution and behavior impossible for one team alone. By choosing to look closely, we transform our relationship with it. Fear gives way to fascination. Indifference is replaced by engagement. The golden age of herpetology isn't culminating. It's just beginning. The miniaturization of electronics is leading this charge. GPS trackers are now so small and lightweight they can be fitted to smaller and smaller species. Technologies like CRISPR gene editing will be used to understand the precise function of different parts of the snake's genome. Our most critical role is to become advocates and guardians. We are the single greatest threat to their survival, and therefore, we must be their single greatest hope. We began this journey with a simple premise, that everything you thought you knew about snakes was wrong. We have seen organs that grow and shrink on demand, uncovered their secret social lives, witnessed their capacity for problem solving. The serpent, once a symbol of ancient evil, has been reimagined. It stands before us now as a symbol of resilience, of hidden complexity, and of the boundless wonders that still wait to be discovered on our own planet. The journey is never-ending, and the only requirement to join is a sense of wonder. Thank you for joining us.